What is your favorite thing in your saved section? Hi everyone. While the thread itself is marked NSFW, we request that you still mark your comments as such if they are linking to NSFW material. Thank you. The AskReddit thread with the question, you and a super intelligent snail both get $1 million. And you both become immortal. You die if the snail touches you. It always knows where you are and slowly crawls toward you. What's your plan? Quote. Edit. Sorry for forgetting to put the link. It was like 1 a.m. when I posted this. Removed. Wait a second. This isn't funny or NSFW, but I like it. One of those came here for the funny porn but learned how to make stir-fry kinda threads. From What's the laziest thing you've ever done? Courtesy of you, Tupper Wolf. Greater than late to the party but this one is too good to pass up. Greater than I was once on a U.S. military ship, having breakfast in the wardroom, officer's lounge, when the operations officer, Ops, walks in. This guy was the definition of not a morning person. He's still half asleep, bleary-eyed, basically a zombie with a bagel. He sits down across from me to eat his bagel and is just barely conscious. My back is to the outboard side of the ship, and the morning sun is blazing in one of the portholes, putting a big bright-ass circle of light right on his barely conscious face. He's squinting and chewing and basically just remembering how to be alive for today. It's painful to watch. Greater than, but then Zombie Ops stops chewing, slowly picks up the phone, and dials the bridge. In his well-known I'm still totally asleep voice, he says, it's Ops. Could you shift our bar pad? Yeah, 165, thanks, and puts the phone down. And then he just sits there, squinting, waiting. Greater than, and then, ever so slowly, I realize that that big blazing spot of sun has begun to slide off the zombie's face and onto the wall behind. Hi monsieur. After a moment it clears his face and he blinks slowly a few times and the brilliant beauty of what I've just witnessed begins to overwhelm me. By ordering the bridge to adjust the ship's back and forth patrol by about 15 degrees. He's changed our course just enough to reposition the sun off of his face. He's literally just redirected thousands of tons of steel and hundreds of people so that he could get the sun out of his eyes while he eats his bagel. I am in awe. Greater than, he slowly picks up his bagel and for a moment I'm terrified at the thought that his own genius may escape him, that he may never appreciate the epic brilliance of his laziness, since he's not going to wake up for another hour. But between his next bites he pauses, looks at me, and gives me the faintest, sly grin, before returning to gnaw slowly on his zombie bagel. Yes, I lost this one. Resaved. This response to a thread about what you'd do if a nuclear weapon hit 5 kilometers away. Greater than, well, I'm not dead. That tells me a number of things. Greater than, for starters, I have a pretty good idea that we're at war with Canada right now. Also, I'm pretty sure that the rest of the country is toast and that some distinctly weird shit's going down. Greater than, I'm 5 clicks from Bupkis. There's nothing worth hitting within probably 5 times that range from where I am right now, and even that is charitably a tier 3 target even from the Soviet perspective. Greater than, back in the day the Russians operated a 40 kiloton warhead which was delivered by the SS-3 missile system. It's since retired, but as pretty much the only warhead that was operated by not the United States, survivable from 5 kilometers out, and delivered by missile. I'm pretty sure that's what the strike was from, monsieur. The SS-3 isn't terribly sophisticated as ballistic missiles go, and it's probably in pretty poor repair on account of being decommissioned since 1969, but given that someone's nuking rural southwestern Virginia, the reappearance of a 45-year-old atomic weapons system is hardly the strangest thing about today. At least it explains why there's a surplus of developable land in my little mountain town. The SS-3 never was tremendously accurate. Greater than the bad news is that, accurate or not, the SS-3 is an intermediate-range missile with a maximum range of about 750 miles. That's about 1,200 kilometers in communist units. Since the SS-3 isn't sea-launchable, that leaves a launch site somewhere in the continental United States or southern Canada, somewhere around Toronto or Ottawa. It's a theater weapon, so my guess is Toronto. Greater than the Canadians are invading. I always knew this day would come. Greater than it could be the Russians invading through Canada, but that seems a bit of a stretch. Invading Canada without anyone noticing would be difficult, even if you were good at hockey and very polite. Setting up a disused missile system within spitting distance of Detroit while still maintaining the charade of being our Putin-loving neighbors to the north beggars the imagination. No, it's far more likely that, fearing the Donald Trump presidency, the Canucks have decided that it's about time to deal with the United States before things go even further off the rails, and this is the fumbled first strike, an apologetically ineffectual weapon purchased in oil shale money from some Eastern European arms dealer. Greater than the interstate will be a ruin after the blast, and areas north are far more logical targets. My van's old though. It should still run despite the EMP, and I have an hour or so to get clear before the fallout becomes a problem. Monsieur, I slip off my shoes and walk in sock feet to my vehicle. Better to ditch the potentially radioactive socks than to be without shoes, and prepare to head west through the Jefferson National Forest before swinging south. Greater than we'll regroup in Georgia, down below the net line, and use the weather to our advantage. They'll be sapped by the heat, and, with a little luck, we can push them back north of the Ohio River by next Thanksgiving. Though I expect it'll be a sparse one. Greater than no maple syrup in the sweet potato casserole. That's for sure. I can't find it, but it was an AskReddit question about which actress were secretly gay. All answers were Tom Cruise. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.